Since the beginning of time, economists, psychologists, and geographers have all attempted to break down and categorize societies and communities into specific demographics. But what hasn't been given much attention over the years are those that don't conform to the social hierarchy and have thus been harshly rejected by many cultures. Nowadays, we refer to them as nerds. Species uncovered, Homo nerdus, a never-before-seen investigation of society's greatest anomaly. Hi, I'm David Derwin, and today we're going to be investigating mankind's closest surviving brother, the nerd. From what we can already gather, nerds have somehow managed to camouflage themselves into the nooks and crannies of the Homo sapien population. So how did they get there? How have they managed to survive, whilst all our other genetic brothers and sisters haven't? First, in order to answer these questions, I met up with renowned Professor Dr. Frank A. Stein from the University of Hong Kong and head of the Anthropology and Paleontology Department, who has spent years carefully analysing the nerd and its progression throughout history.
Homo nerdus, or more commonly known as the nerd, are a race of which, until recently, we knew very little about really. According to recent archaeological findings compiled from around the world, the first nerd came into existence just after the first Homo sapien over 200,000 years ago.
So, by archaeological findings, I assume you mean fossils?
Yes, yes.
So, how have you been able to differentiate Homo nerdus fossils from Homo sapien? Or any other species from the Homo genus for that matter?
Well, biologically speaking, nerds have slightly gargantuan cranial space. Not just in terms of proportion with the rest of their body, but also in comparison with humans. This allows them to house a relatively larger brain, which explains their almost abnormal intellectual ability.
But apart from their inherent intelligence, there are more definitive physical characteristics that separate man from nerd.
What do nerds look like? They've always got these huge ugly glasses.
Like thick, black rimmed glasses.
Nerds? Oh my gee, they wear like these really ugly shirts buttoned all the way to the top.
And they have really curved backs, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know.
Nerds all have braces and acne.
They always have these shirts that are tucked into really high-waisted pants.
Ew.
And they wear long socks, like, you know, you might say freakishly long socks. Really long socks.
Essentially, nerds are hugely incongruent in terms of our evolutionary, Darwinian assumptions. Their survival instincts and sensitivity to external stimuli is startlingly poor. Just as a cheetah's body is streamlined for greater speed and agility, the nerd's body is geared towards maximum utilization of its greatest feature and advantage, its brain.
But that is not to say that nerds are without predatory impulses. You see, with their incredible capacity for knowledge, nerds tend to fixate and obsess on a particular subject, whether it's computers, mathematics, or Star Trek. Shh, be very, very quiet. The nerd has a very sensitive sense of hearing. We're very lucky today. A new shipment of math textbooks just came out. Look how awkward it is. The nerd is the most socially awkward creature of all mammals. He's seen the book! Watch how he stalks his prey hungrily. Now one thing you must always remember when dealing with a nerd. They're very cowardly normally, but never get between them and a math book. And look, and he pounces! Oh my god, we're watching it feed. This is just amazing. And that is a sight we may never see again. Why, you ask? Well, it's simple really. The nerd has an innate aversion to the opposite sex. Their breeding issues have turned into a more serious problem within the last few decades, as the nerd has become socially ostracized.
Hey, you're like an exothermic reaction, you know why? Because you're hot.
We seem to have forgotten the symbiotic relationship that man and nerd have shared since the beginning of time. A relationship built on mutual benefit. Where man would hunt for food and survival necessities, the nerd would aid technological advances and drive society forward. So the next time you happen to pass one on the street, don't tease or bully, but instead remember all the hardships they have been through and all they've done for humanity. Thank you for listening. I'm David Derwin. Good night.